Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 354 of Your Overseas Connection, the official podcast of the G4TE.com community. That is gaming for the elderly, and that just means a mature gaming community that is fun to play with, and we're not all about measuring our e-computer penis, except for maybe one of our guests today. Hey, Greg DeLacy, gamertag OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Well, I guess it's not really a gamertag, is it now? That's my Twitter handle, but if you wanted to follow me on, say, Xbox Live, it's Murphy's Law. I don't even know who I am yet. It's a weird week. No music intro. We just started cold turkey. And on top of that, Robin's camera doesn't want to do anything other than take pictures of him, which we have now a nice picture to show everybody. So Robin Tate's on the podcast this week. Robin, thank you very much for making the show. And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, happy birthday. I am 27 years old today. Woohoo! No, that's not right. I can't count up to the number of birthday years I am at the moment. It's frightening. Yes, it is my birthday today. I'm 47 years old, an elder statesman. Some say I should know better, but, well, at Bongo the Sane exists, and my mad little world exists there on Twitter, and Bongo the Sane on Xbox Live, and pretty much everywhere else. So it's good to be on, and I'm excited to be on the show tonight, and excited that we have another voice on the podcast tonight that I don't think I've podcasted with before. So, yeah. Let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. Indeed. Gary Lever, also known as @Amorous89 on Twitter, on kind of like everything, right, Gary?
I wish.
All right, well, never mind then. Just on Twitter, nothing else.
Well, Twitter, Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about as... I mean, I have a few, but I don't use them very often.
What's your Nintendo name?
Well, it used to be Amorous89 until I deleted my account on accident. They couldn't recover it. But it's Amorous1289.
All right. Amorous1289 for the 5
Happy
people out
birthday,
there.
Bongo. Didn't know it was your birthday.
Yes, he is a young lad today.
Indeed.
Gary, before we jump into everything else, let's do some plugs. You podcast on another podcast. You have a show. It's the Gamesman RPG, or is it just the Gamesman? Did you guys drop the RPG, or is that still there?
No, it's still the Gamesman RPG. It used to be like, well, it's still the Gamesman RPG. What role will you play? But we don't we never say the what role will you play in it. Like that's just our tag for whenever we sign off every week. But yeah, the Gamesman, thegamesman.com. Since the reboot, we're up to 104 shows. So
awesome.
Yeah, there was a rough time, so we rebooted and everything, and then now we're going strong. Except after we hit 100, Dan's been sick and doing stuff, so he hasn't been. He didn't miss last week. He missed a week before, and he's missing this week. So Mark's gonna be on tomorrow. So yay!
All right.
But yeah, Steve Conger, JSS Life likes Love Child.
It is his love child, and you've done well by it. You haven't completely bastardized it yet, so you should be proud.
Sometims.
No, never mind. Sorry, Steve. We owe you an apology.
I get told off by Steve every once in a while. Like there was once we did the RPG section, and yeah, we did a lot of racist kind of voices, like very Japanese voice, like, or very Southern, or just messing with all the voices.
Right.
And he was like, that was the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was just like the Boss Wave podcast there. Just it really was, yeah. Or what's the one that Fraser does? The Japan charts. Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sure, well, you can be forgiven. I mean, as long as you have one of those members of each community on your podcast, it's fine. And, Dan is definitely Japanese. I mean, I have met him. So, and you're definitely deep South Texas. I can hear that clear as day in your voice. So
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
you're recovered.
guy that's going to be on tomorrow, he's not from the Texas area, but he does have a very deep voice. So he sounds like he could be from Texas. Actually, I did think he was whenever I first heard him.
Well, I mean, the Americans are having it tough. I mean, Rolling Ninjas is in the chat right now, and he's saying the snowstorm is beating you down over there. So, anybody that's listening in getting covered in that white snow stuff, that must sound like a really bad storm over on the East Coast there. I don't think you're seeing any of that at all out in the West.
Me, I am. I got a good probably 14, 16 inches over the last month.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously? God,
Yeah,
it would take about 10 years to do that here.
Yeah, in the past day, I've probably shoveled about 5 hours worth of snow, and my body is killing me. So, but yeah,
Shoveling
it's-
snow sucks, for the record. I did it once for my parents. I shoveled their driveway off, and after that I told them to go buy a blower. That was the
Yeah.
one and only time.
we have a snowblower, but it hasn't been used in years, and it's like in the back of the shed, so I didn't feel like pulling
Son
it
of a
out, and
snowball.
I don't think we have any oil or whatever the change to put in it anyway. So, and nobody was leaving the house. Roads are fine now. Everything's good now, but it was terrible for the past probably 12 hours.
All right.
Just
Okay.
tons of snow falling.
Yeah.
My
no,
goodness,
it's-
Rolling Ninjas. Sorry talk about more snow, but he's saying in the chat here
30
that
inches.
it's up to 30 inches, and they've just made it illegal to be out on the road in Baltimore and the surrounding areas. A few people
I
have
think
died
that's
already.
I think that's actually the norm for Baltimore, though. They just don't want you out on the roads. Period.
Holy crap, 30
I mean-
inches? That's like
That's a
down
lot
my
of snow.
leg.
That's a lot of snow. That
They
is
gave
a lot
us
of
a
snow.
state of emergency too, so
Yeah.
Well,
we just
stay
have to
safe, people. Stay safe.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have a lot of snowfall going on, and I feel bad, because it's dangerous, it's crazy. I mean, out here we have a lot of rain, and we don't know what to do. We're kind of going
Yeah,
crazy.
sorry, that's just part of life in Ireland. Rain.
No, we don't know what to
Yeah.
do because we haven't had rain in so long. It's been raining
Yeah.
pretty
Well-
consistent now, so we're like, hey, this drought thing might actually get taken care of.
And wasn't there some sort of superstar film actress that shipped in a pile of water into an American town there over the last week or two because either their water was contaminated or there just
Oh
wasn't
no,
any
that's
water?
that's Flint, Michigan. I believe that's Flint, Michigan. I think they have a big contamination issue with their water supply. So
Let me-
it's oops.
Third world. Yeah.
Yeah, third world, U.S. We are definitely third world right now. Snow everywhere, contaminated water.
one
My-
thing I do need to
God.
say is we got a Mitsubishi Outlander Sport for my wife a couple months ago, and it is so wonderful in the snow.
Yeah,
It
because
took
you don't,
everything like a boss.
yeah, you don't have to change. You don't have to put chains on, right? That's probably
No.
all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's all-wheel
Yeah.
drive, and I just shoved it in the four-wheel drive while we were going out today, and it didn't slide once. It was great.
Yeah. I just ordered a new sports SUV this week because we get it up to an inch of snow here, and it'll be with me in a week or two. But I just need to be prepared for that
Yeah.
inch or two. So just better be safe than sorry, and just
See,
get an all-wheel drive.
The two of you, very sensible with your car choices. You live in areas that have snow. You picked four-wheel drive vehicles that can handle that, or at least addressing that. And then we have people like Fraser Moores, who buys a Jaguar. He lives in Canada. He shows pictures of snow up to the roof of his house. He can't get out, and he's got a Jaguar.
Be careful. Be careful. You,
No, I don't want to be
criticizing
careful.
Jaguar is like criticizing the Queen. Now, please.
But I'm but
It's a very British
I'm,
thing.
I'm criticizing Canada. It's not the Jaguar itself. I have no problem with the Jaguar
What
vehicle.
was I heard today?
However-
Yeah, when they
that guy
put
is
ice
so
skates on it-
innocent. That guy is so innocent. He's almost Canadian. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, but in Canada they don't put snow tires on; they put ice skates on their vehicles. So,
Yeah, true. Very true. Very
and
true.
didn't you just or you're gonna get a Jaguar Bongo? That's where you would like.
I
It was the last
almost know
podcast.
it's sort of an old one. This was going to be for the spring summer run around. So I am. I promised myself. This is one of those these bucket list things. So I've always had an inkling for an old Porsche or an old Jag.
Right.
And by the age of 50, I wanted to have an old Porsche or an old Jag around the place. So I've got 3 years to go. So yeah, I'm on the hunt for something, and I was very tempted by one which was very keenly priced. But yeah, that'll come.
All right.
That'll come.
All right.
Bucket
Okay.
list.
Yeah, bucket list. There you go. It is definitely a bucket list item. Before we dive any further, maybe well, Gary, I know you're looking over at Twitch right now, I believe. Maybe you
Yep.
could give some shout outs to some of the people. I know we have a couple people in the chat room, so let's give some love to our Twitch peeps.
I actually don't see anybody other than wait. There it goes. Yeah, so we got Rolling Ninjas, myself, the Gamesman RPG, and Bongo. That's
Yeah.
all that's in actually right
Well,
now.
there we go.
Ninjas,
It is a crazy Rolling Ninjas.
He's stuck in the snow playing Fallout 4. Perfect.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
he
wrong with
says
that.
he can play Fallout and obsess over the Division.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
divisive division.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. That may be making somebody's possible anticipated maybe fail list. I don't know. Maybe not.
Dang, I
Um,
was thinking about that one too.
I'm pretty excited for that game. I have to freely admit. The more I've seen, the more my hype level has gone up. But before before one more thing happens, Gary, I do need to again say thank you for this, Gary. And you know what I'm talking about here.
Yay.
Yes. I want to make sure that this is getting some love. So I had a different shirt on before I started the podcast, and I ran into the room. I changed shirts just because I knew you were going to be on the podcast. I want to make sure this shirt gets seen and gets some love.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for wearing it.
No, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to have to return the favor somehow. I don't know yet, but I'm going to make that something in your future will happen.
Something that I really hate. Just
Yeah.
yeah, you can buy me a Destiny shirt.
You know what? I'll even one up it. I will buy you a Destiny's Child shirt. All right. Well, let's shift some gears. That was really difficult for me to say. I have a feeling this entire podcast I'm going to have a hard time talking. I don't know why. I'm just going to say it now. But Gary, now that you're taking a drink, by all means, I want you to speak. Let's get into what we've been playing this past week. You are our guest, so
Yeah.
I think it's only right that we allow you to actually take the helm here, talk about some of the games you've been playing.
All right.
And no,
Well,
I'm not putting up any video because, God damn it, I just haven't had time to work out all the kinks. So you just get our smiling faces. I'll strike the bongo pose.
I'm terrified to think what it is.
uh,
I can't
Well-
see.
I'm just gonna get the fast ones out. So Five Nights at Freddy's. I tried to play it again, and I still can't beat that damn game. Don't even get jump scares out of it anymore. Just whatever. I
Is
tried
that-
again.
Is that the
Is it-
original one?
Is it a
Yeah,
scary
the
game?
original.
I don't know this game at all, and I feel horrible because I've heard it talked about so much, and I've never once made an effort to look this game up for whatever reason. Is it an actual scary game or supposed to be a scary game?
Okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's, you're basically working at like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing.
It's
So,
scary enough right after out of the gate.
Yeah. So you're a security guard sitting in a room. You got a door on the left, door on the right, and then you can control like a light on the door, so you can see if there's something standing in the doorway. If there's something standing there, then you have to go and shut the door until like they leave, and then you have to conserve all the power. You start off with 100% power, and if you reach 0, lights go off, and you have to wait until either you're lucky enough to hit morning, or somebody goes and comes in the room and kills you. So basically, like the little jump scare thing is, like say you'll be looking at because there's a monitor, and then you can look at all the security cameras.
Right.
So you keep clicking through them, you'll see them moving closer to you, and there's some that you actually have to look. You have to check the camera every once in a while, or this thing will come out, and it like full force just runs down the hall. Like you'll be looking down at It's the only one that actually like moves on the video. Normally they're just like standing still if you're looking at them. And
So let me just do a quick recap here. The game is you're in a room, like a security station. You have two doors.
Yep.
That you don't actually go out.
No.
You just monitor.
Yep. Yeah, you just
And
look
then
at
you have a
basically like a security guard, just looking at the monitor, checking the video
Right.
feed.
And you're checking
Yeah.
the video feed, and there's like a ghost or a monster in the Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Okay. So the animatronic characters, I can't remember the names.
They're coming
There's
to
the
life.
fox. Yeah.
Okay.
They even like give you a story to it. So like this guy calls you on the phone and says, "Thank you. This is your first day at work or whatever," and they talk about the animatronic characters go on roam mode or whatever during the night.
Okay.
And I can't remember why, like something batteries are charging. I don't know, something weird. And basically, they think that you are.
Food?
They think that they think you're outside of your suit, like your animatronic suit. So they like they forcibly shove you into their suit and like kills you basically, and like you don't see any of this happen. Like it just goes,
Got it.
black.
So they're when they encounter you, the premise is they're going to basically pick you up and shove you inside of them through probably a hole that doesn't really fit.
Yeah, well, it's basically like them putting their head around yours,
Okay.
kind of thing is how it sounds, and then like it, just crush your skull and kill you. So, but I mean, basically, it's if they get to you, they're gonna kill you. So you just need to make sure that they don't get to you, and the game is 5 nights.
Okay.
So 5 nights long, it gets progressively harder. The first night's not too bad.
Right.
They barely move, and then like more and more will start. So there's
So is there anything that happens? And apologies to anybody listening that we're dwelling on this game, but I'm now intrigued. So between the nights, during the day, do you do anything? Do you level
No.
up anything?
No, it's literally you end night 1, and then it directly goes to night 2, and then like the guy calls you again and it's like, "Good job on your first day," blah blah blah, kind of thing. And so that like there's a chicken, a bunny, Freddy, the teddy bear, and then there's like this fox guy,
All right.
and so
It does sound ridiculous. I mean, some of my kids were playing this. God, it must be about a year back.
Right.
oh yeah,
And it sort of looks cartoony, but it has a creepy atmosphere to it more than being
Yeah.
scary.
Okay.
And there is
Yeah,
the odd
it's-
jump scare. So yeah, but it's a fun wee diversion.
Yeah.
And they've brought out a second one, isn't that right? There's
they have 4.
oh my goodness.
They brought out 4 in like a year and a half, and they just kept going and going.
I will just say this. I'm not real sold on the premise so far.
If you go on Steam and look at the video, like it's like $5. Like I
Alright.
only got the first one. I'm probably not going to play the other ones
It
because
just
it's
doesn't
basically
sound
the same
terribly
thing.
fun. Yeah, it just doesn't sound all that fun. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I mean, God knows, I would look at Tetris and I'd be like, yeah, it's not that much fun looking at that. But we know Tetris turned out to be quite the game. So hey, maybe there is something to it. But
It's not like you're going to play this game for hours and hours. It's like you'll
Alright.
pick it up for like 10 minutes and then you'll move on to something else.
Alright.
Or you may beat the game, which I cannot do. But,
and hence
yeah,
you've
like-
been playing it for hours and hours now, Gary.
if I check on Steam, I only have
15 hours.
71
calling it.
minutes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, 71 minutes.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think it was a
So-
big hit because it was an iPad mostly. I think a lot of the kids played it on iPad. It was like a thing to play or a peer thing to play with school that you're playing this scary game that was available to you. Anyway,
It-
yeah,
the-
okay.
Yeah,
Let's-
the biggest
let's-
thing was the the YouTubers that were doing like PewDiePie and stuff. It's all that, they're fake little scares, like, ah! I don't know, but that was a wonderful stream by me, by the way.
I know. We've got that recorded.
But yeah, I mean, it's okay to play every once in a while. I would like to beat it eventually, but it's never gonna happen because I suck. But yeah.
What else, Gary? What else? Let's move past Five Nights at Freddy's. I think
Yes.
we can move past that. There's other things on your list. Let's talk about it.
So another one I did was Resident Evil 4. I picked it up. I've been wanting to play it forever because I haven't played it since I did it on the GameCube years and years ago. And oh my, this game sucks so bad to play now because it's not like a regular shooter or over the shoulder shooter. Like, you have to hold down a button, you stop moving, and then you aim. And you can't switch the controls. Like, I tried playing with a controller, can't even play with a controller.
No, but Gary, traditional Resident Evil fans say that's the way you play it. You're not supposed to move and shoot. You're supposed to be stationary. That makes it scarier.
Well, I'd be better if I could like switch up the controls, because it doesn't work very well.
You would also be better if you could move and shoot, for the record.
Yeah. But I did like that. I mean, Resident Evil 4 was like my favorite one.
No, Gary,
but
you didn't like that, Gary. You think you liked it back in the time, and then everybody made excuses for it being okay because it was Resident Evil. But it was a dumb mechanic. Let's face the facts. It was a limitation of hardware probably back in the day.
Oh yeah, but
was there not something that you can adjust the tank controls in this variant now? You can make it more controllable like a modern game. No.
I need to look probably further into it, but they only give you 3 control settings to use for a controller, and none of them seem to work well for me. Because I'm fine with the not moving thing as long as it works well, and it doesn't work that well.
Right.
I'm hoping to kind of make it further into it if I can get used to it again. But how many years has it been since this game, and so many shooter games now you move and shoot? It's so outdated now.
I mean, it just goes back to, I think, our human instinct, our natural instinct. If we have something dangerous coming at us and we had a gun, but we thought it might overwhelm us, we would start moving backwards and shooting at the same time. And the fact that you can't do that in a game, it's ridiculous.
It's weird.
So these days it's more like seminal fluid rather than a seminal game then, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Weird.
Look past it, Gary. Look past it.
Move on.
All right. Yes. Resident Evil 4.
I don't even know what to say to that. So yeah, that another real quick one because I just can't stop playing it. I got 75 hours into it now. Rocket League.
Never heard
I
of it.
cannot stop playing it.
Yeah, I heard about this game somewhere along the line. Yeah.
It's a little game.
Little game. It is a little game. Let's put it in proper perspective. It was made from these guys that I think they made, was it Auto Turbo or something like that, was their previous game that bombed, didn't do well.
That was basically the exact same thing.
It's Rocket League, except for they finally made soccer, and Rocket League together, and they got the PSN. I do think, I'm thoroughly convinced at this point, that them being on PSN as a free game is what got this game into being a true darling gem of last year.
It probably would have nobody would have really noticed it, or it just would have picked up very slow.
Yeah, I mean, people probably would have picked it up, but I mean, again, if you heard about Rocket League before you knew it was going to be great, and you had heard about Rocket League and they said it's going to be $20, you didn't have a demo, you would have been
I had no idea about this game until
I don't
it came
think
out
so.
Until it was a PlayStation Plus game, I didn't even know it existed. So.
Yeah, well, when I heard Jesus say that, his opinion was if it hadn't have been free, it would have got to this level anyway. And Jesus is usually right.
No, Jesus is dead
Mike
wrong.
Chin.
Yeah. You're wrong, Mike.
I definitely think the free bit really made it rocket, if you excuse the pun, up that popularity chart.
Right.
It didn't grab me. It's a bit of fun, but it didn't grab me just the same way as a lot of the folk. But maybe I'll come on Xbox. I'll maybe give it another go again.
I think I will pick it up on Xbox again and play with.
Sunset
Oh.
Overdrive cars now.
Ooh.
So they're going to have Halo, Gears, and Sunset Overdrive.
Did PlayStation get any themed cars?
I
if
don't
heard-
know. I don't recall them getting. I mean, you got it for free, so I mean, that's a nice perk.
Yeah, well, so the Sunset Overdrive and stuff, those cars, they're not paid DLC.
The Halo and the Gears, I know are not. They're coming with it. I don't know about Sunset Overdrive. I know they announced it, so I don't know if it's going to be part of it or if it's going to be paid DLC.
Now, is it a car or is it
Skins. It's a skin.
Okay, yeah, like the paint job and stuff
Right.
on it. Okay, yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah, and then they're finishing season 1 in February, and season 2 is going to come out with more items and stuff. So that's going to be awesome. And I guess the ranks are going to get reset. I'm excited for that. I kind of want to get up higher in rank, but I am not like really good at the game. So like I can't do all the crazy boosting aerial stuff that other people can. But I'm a fairly decent goalie, I guess. But
All right.
yeah, it's I love it. I didn't expect to like soccer.
Most
I don't
people
play
say
sports
that, by
games.
the way. Most people say that when they talk about soccer, unless they're from that little island.
That's a stupid game. All those people running after one ball, fighting over one ball. Why would just give them one each and it would stop them fighting over it? It just
Exactly.
I don't get soccer at all. No. And
Isn't that really any sports game? Because basketball, you got one ball and everyone's fighting over that ball. Football, people are trying to kill each other to rip it out of
True.
somebody else's hands.
I think football, they should just do
Yay,
away with the ball
smoked.
and just let everybody just like duke it out. I think that would actually be a far better sport.
Then you just have boxing
Blood
in a
Bowl.
big
No,
arena.
but they're in armor. I mean, it's like gladiator
They're in
days.
armor.
Yeah. Give-
Was
give
it
'em-
climbing? You want climbing for dollars, don't you? That's what you want.
No,
as
I
well.
think we should combine baseball, football, and UFC. So, football, the helmets, the pads. Baseball, give everybody a bat. And then, of course, UFC, you knock them out.
Speaking of that, there's something in Fallout 4 with a character, and he talks about the great game of baseball. Completely wrong. He basically
Oh.
makes it sound like it's a blood sport. You need to like whenever you go into Diamond City, like find the guy that's dressed up like a baseball player, and it's hilarious how
All
he
right.
explains the game to you.
I like it.
It's funny. That completely remind me of it. But moving on, I guess I'll just run through a few more. So there's this game I was listening to another podcast, Game Enthused, and they had I can't remember his name, but he's a game developer and he made this game called Super Ubi Island Remix.
Super Ubi Island Remix.
Yes,
Just
a
like it
plat-
sounds. Ubi, U-B-I-E. Just in case anybody wants to look this up.
Yes, it's as far as I know, it's only on Steam.
Okay.
It is $10. I got it for like 8. It was on sale. I think it's off sale now. But
Okay.
so this game is a platformer. It's very cute looking, and it's very simplistic, but it's got some cool elements to it. Like there's these things that you'll like jump on, and it'll launch you into the air. And there's like springs that will also launch you in the air. But there's like these birds that basically act like a bouncing ball and just shoot you up. But it's it's just a platformer like any of the other ones, like a Mario or something like that.
Okay.
You can jump off walls, and then there's like little things like they add like TNT blocks that if you jump on a regular one, like it starts to flash and then it'll explode, and then there'll be like a line of them, and they all just start exploding, and you need to get past that before you die. And then they have like little things that you collect in each one, and then there's also like red blocks and like anything like they're red enemies and all that stuff. And if you like hit them, if you run or like jump on them, they'll explode and then you'll die. Same thing. They have like red TNT blocks that if you touch that one, it just automatically blows up, so you die. But there's like I don't know how many worlds there are. I did the first 2, but the bosses have been interesting. There's this antagonist. I don't know exactly what the story is behind them yet, but I think you get shot down and then you crash land on this planet is the basis of it, and
Okay.
you're just going through levels, and then at the end of like say you got eight levels, and then there's a boss, and then you do the boss, and then you move on to the next world, like any of the other platformers that have been going on for years. So same concept as all of those, just cute little animations, and it's very indie because like you'll hear bing, like somebody's actually saying like saying sound effects.
Oh, okay,
And-
okay, gotcha.
But it fits in there really nicely, and it's funny. You can even there's like if you push like Y on the Xbox pad, like he'll do this like little animation thing where he's all happy. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Is it really? Is it really, Gary? Is it really interesting, or is it just a fun platformer that happens to be on Steam that was kind of cheap?
Well, I heard him talking about it, and I thought I'd give it a
You're
shot.
super
and, I'm
positive.
enjoying it.
Gary is.
Gary,
super
I know you are,
positive.
Gary. I'm giving you
It's
shit
probably
right
a
now.
pile of shit.
You can't trust my opinion because I play, Pony Island.
We're
anybody
going
looked
to
up
talk
Pony
about
Island
that, by
yet?
the way.
Oh,
We're talking about
good
that.
Start. I was waiting for you to bring that up. I'm surprised it's not in your list. Pony
Well, it's not
Island.
because I didn't play in the last week. I beat it after the first week. Okay, so let's just. I'll run through my other games and then we'll talk about Pony Island. So, okay, so Super Ruby Island, good little game. I don't know how to say this. Machinarium.
Machinarium.
Machinarium. Actually, sounds
Macarena-narium.
So this is a nice little puzzle game. You're a little robot. You can stretch the robot up and down to reach different things, or you can pick up items and put items together and use them that way. And you have to figure out the little puzzle or whatever. And there's like a little hint thing, and all it says is like what you have to do by the end. So it doesn't really tell you anything. And I'm stuck in this room right now. Trying to figure out there's like a boiler, and then it like picks up this stuff and will throw it in there, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but it's
Again, Gary, you're selling me on this game.
I'm not good at selling games. I don't know really how to explain
It's a
it.
fun
like,
game. I'm
it's-
stuck and I can't get out, and I've been in there for days.
Well, I mean I've only played it for about an hour.
I'm just kidding.
So
Gary,
But
I
yeah.
like teasing you, and this is, you and I haven't podcasted together in quite some time. We've I think podcasted one time before, and I was pretty easy on you. But since then, we have developed a rapport through Twitter. So the gloves are off, baby, and so you're on my turf right now.
and I play all the weird games. I'm like the Stu
I
Fowler
know.
of America.
You are the Stu Fowler of America. That's not a compliment, man. That's not a compliment.
Hey,
Ah.
I play a lot of weird games that are good. He plays a lot of games that you just walk. Well, no, I play those too, so I can't say anything about that.
Yeah, he plays games and he's just weird. So there's that. All right,
Yeah.
so Machinarium, Macaraniarium. Again, maybe
I want
maybe
mac and cheese.
yeah, maybe picking it up on a Steam sale on cheap.
Yeah, it's normally on sale a lot of times. But it's I love puzzle games.
Okay.
So if you like puzzle games, you're gonna like this one.
Fraser Morris, do you hear that? He likes puzzle platformers. I'm just, again, just trying to offend as many people as I can. So, real quickly, the price on that, what does that usually go for? 5, 10?
I can check it out real quick. I can't remember. I mean, I picked this up so long ago, and it's actually I may have got on a humble bundle. It's $10.
Okay. All right. $10
Probably goes on sale for at least half price to 75% off.
every
so
other week.
probably
Okay.
every Steam sale, it's always on
right.
there. So
And this
yeah.
last game you want to talk about, I'm pretty sure we can talk about this in, 2 minutes? If it's real simple. Again, simple platformer, right?
yes, this would be the only game that you'd want a Wii U for, because it's got mechs. After,
That is a
30
selling
hours.
point. That's a goddamn good selling point, Gary. It's got mechs. This, of course, makes this game worthy of talking about right now.
Yes, Xenoblade Chronicles X, the successor, but not at all really to Xenoblade Chronicles that came out on the Wii. Completely different story. None of the characters from the other one. I don't even know why they called it that. Maybe because Xenoblade Chronicles was so popular. But
So wait, real quick. So I'm going to stop you here. So this game, Xenoblade Chronicles X, has nothing to do with the first Xenoblade. No characters, no universe, nothing's the same.
I don't know if it's in. It could be in the same universe, but I don't think they're gonna bring anything up because. So the start, like the very beginning of the game, you find out these alien race comes, like destroys Earth,
Right.
and all these
Which most alien races, by the way, tend to do.
yeah.
We anger a lot of people out in the universe.
They actually give a premise a little bit into the game why they're killing or they went after the human race. But yeah, so like there are all these ships
They
that
saw
are
our
leaving.
TV shows that we broadcast out.
Where it's like
They're
pixels.
Jesus Christ, not any more of this stuff. Real Housewives of Orange County. We need to kill that planet.
They just
I
want
wouldn't be
Coca-Cola.
surprised if they
That's what
thought
it
that
is.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so all these evacuation ships, like gigantic evacuation ships, leave Earth
Right.
to go find other places to live because Earth is like fucked. So
Putting it bluntly. All right.
yeah, I think you're like one of the only ones, maybe the only ship that actually got past the blockade or whatever it be of all these alien ships and all this. And the Skell, which is the mech, is like a big combat thing for Earth, I guess. They help, get your ship through and all this stuff. So you go in, you start off as you can create your own character, and then you take the character, or you're found by somebody because you're like in this little life pod evacuation pod thing,
Okay.
and they get you to go right into combat, same combat as Xenoblade Chronicles.
Now
it's
again,
basically like-
I'm gonna stop you here because I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
So it's an open world game, right?
Yes.
Open world RPG.
Very big world. It's
so
gigantic.
big world. Fallout 4 kind of big or bigger? I guess bigger because there's
I think they said it's
travel.
the biggest world. I think it's bigger than The Witcher. I know.
Okay.
I
Alright.
think they said it was bigger than The Witcher's world.
Okay.
So it's really big. Like, not even just in length, like in height. Like you can see a mountain.
I've heard
goes straight up into the
verticality is
sky.
a big thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and
verticality.
like you can use the scales and like fly up there, and like even like down, just everywhere. It's huge.
All right.
And
Massive
you can
world.
only go to some places right now. Like you start off in one area, and then you can keep going to different areas. You can unlock like all these fast travel points and everything, and you can like instantly go there. And by the way, the load times are ridiculously fast.
Okay.
Like,
Well, that
I
was,
go.
You started to say ridiculous, and then I was like, wait, is this going to be a bad thing? No, that's good. That's good to hear. I wish more
It's,
open world games had fast load times.
Yeah, and on the Wii U with like the like they're pushing the console to the max for this game,
Right.
and so
But can I ask a question?
yes,
Is it 1080p, 720p? Is it sub 720?
I believe it's 1080p.
Okay. All right.
I have
Okay.
to look into it, but I think it is 1080p.
Good on them. I like it.
I think it's even 60 frames a second and all that. But yeah, Nintendo is very good at optimization. Like very good. All their games normally run 1080p, like Mario Kart and all that stuff, 60 frames per second and all that. Same with Splatoon and everything. But for this game, like, like you got the gamepad. You'll look at the map. You'll click on a spot, fast travel there. 5 seconds. You're like a loading bar will come up. I don't know how it does this. It like kind of loads in the background as you go, but it'll load like a small portion, and then like you're instantly there, and like the music just changes. You're just there. Like,
Oh, interesting.
I
So it's almost like they load in stages. So it's like, the place that you arrive at, maybe if we're talking like a town. So it opens up and you're kind of like in the smaller section of the town, and then as you start to maybe walk around, it starts to actually load up more of the town.
I don't notice it. Like, you will. Probably the biggest thing is you will see the like uh creatures that are around the world. Like, you will notice some of them pop in, but
Right.
the background seems to be the first thing that loads, and it probably loads without you noticing like the stuff that's further away from you. And you'll get into a town, like, you get plopped into, because there's like the hub, where like basically everyone's set base, because this one piece of the ship is like the whole city, and
Okay.
the city's split into sections, and you can choose different parts of the city to go to. Like, you click on one of them, fast travel, and like they have different points that you can go into town, and you'll just basically instantly go there. It's so fast. I can't believe how well it works. Like, I expect them, like, oh, this is gonna take a while to load. Like, you'll put some down, you go take a drink, whatever, and then like it's already up there. I'm like, holy crap! Like, it's so noticeable how fast it goes compared to other games that, like, say you fast travel in Assassin's Creed. Like, you're waiting like a minute sometimes, and I can't, like, how big the world is and everything. How whatever they did to be able to fast travel that quickly is amazing.
All right.
But the combat, to get back from that, I've been trying to explain it to people. Is Jason in the chat, Teflon?
I
Because
don't
he's
know
been
if he's in
playing.
the chat yet or not.
Because he may be able to attest to this or not. Because he's played it. Dragon Age, uh, probably any of the Dragon Age games. It's more like Dragon Age Inquisition in this one. Is you move around and you attack and you use your skills. And some skills depend on, like, if you're on the side of a monster, if you're at the back of the monster, stuff like that. Um, they do more damage, or you can get a better critical on them and stuff. But you have your cooldowns. Some of them go faster, and then you can upgrade your arch. You can upgrade your skills and have different. It's There's a lot of tweaking that you can do to your character to get them built the way you want. Like, you can
So
have
there's a lot of
different passive
customization.
abilities.
There's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
customization.
yeah. There's like
Yeah.
9 faction kind of things that you
Okay.
can join,
So
that
yeah,
also
definitely,
give you buffs.
definitely Dragon Age like.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
It's like definitely with the combat, just the cooldowns and all that kind of stuff. Very. I would say it's definitely a lot like probably Inquisition is now. I haven't played much of Inquisition, so I don't remember.
All
But
right.
I need to talk to Jason and see if that's how he thinks it is. But yeah, like, if you got a Wii U and you wanna not it's very JRPG like,
Okay.
very very Japanese, in some of the things, and the
Not
only
necessarily a selling point to me, Gary. I just want to throw
yeah,
that out there.
but it's definitely a big game,
Okay.
and it's it's got a lot of just funny little things to it. Now, the only thing that I really don't like about the game is your character doesn't talk. You can choose
Okay.
a voice for your character, but that's only during battles. He'll say different
Ugh.
things, and you can
Okay.
choose between different voices. But in the game, like,
It's
somebody will talk to you, you get a dialogue box, and then
got
you
it.
can choose between like 2 or 3 things to ask or whatever, or
So
to make a decision.
old school follow. We'll follow it 3 dialogue basically.
Yeah, pretty
People talk
like
to you,
basically.
and you are the muted response back. All right. Okay. And I
So
know it's gotten a lot of praise. So clearly, like you said, if you're a Wii U owner, this is the game to pick up.
yeah,
Um,
if you wanted a nice role playing game, it's the one for the Wii U. Um, I mean, you got a nice shooter racer RPG. Like, the Wii U definitely has like some good things to it, even though nobody likes it here. No friend.
okay. I I don't hate Nintendo. I don't hate the Wii U. I don't like the way Nintendo has managed the Wii U. And you
Or
know,
the name.
I mean, I actually am not one of those that was super like, oh my god, I can't believe they named it the Wii U. I don't think it was a great choice.
Oh, it's
I,
definitely not.
I
Like how many people were
yeah.
confused just by that.
Well, the whole reveal that was a disaster for Nintendo. But that's old news. That's something we don't need to go into. Probably current news we should talk about real quickly. Robin has died.
Oh no.
Currently, he is not on the podcast. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing Ireland did not pay their internet bill to the world, and so I will keep trying to add him back in. This way, we at least just keep his Skype window up there so it doesn't screw everything up. But in the meantime, I'll talk real quickly about what I've been playing. It's a real limited window of things. It is Forza 6, which we held the Forza Motorsport Mini Cooper League this past Wednesday. About 15 of us, I believe, got together racing in it was Coda East was the racetrack. So fantastic time. Forza and racers, any racing game online when you have really good, minimal lag, and you have a bunch of people that actually know how to race. It's a lot of fun. So, and I'm not one of those people, by the way, that knows how to race. They have been generous and nice with me in terms of just helping me get better. But yeah, so Forza 6 has been fun. Um, and then Rebel Galaxy, it has consumed me. I cannot tell you how much I have. I mean, every moment I get, I'm playing Rebel Galaxy. And if you're wondering what Rebel Galaxy is, um, if you like space sim games, this is Space Sim Light. So think like Elite Dangerous, but then scale everything way back to a much more simplistic setup. So, you fly your ship on a 2D plane. There's no up and down. It's just left, right. You control your speed. You control your weapons to a degree, but your weapons also, a lot of them are basically on auto. The turrets will fire off on by themselves. You set the combat parameters in terms of what kind of ships you want them to fire at. So, your anti-aircraft turrets could basically just target fighters if you want, or you can have them target everything you target. So there's a little bit of depth to the gameplay, but ultimately it keeps it simple, almost action sim, which is kind of a weird way to phrase it, but I think that's the best way I could put it. It is a massive galaxy, and you're just out there exploring. There's a story, a single player story, and it is single player only. So you can follow along that story, or like any open world, you can just go off and do your own thing. So you can do trading, you can become a pirate yourself, you can be a bounty hunter going after pirates, and along the way you're upgrading your ship, and that's the big draw, is you're constantly picking up loot, and you can even get into, as a trader, you can get into commodities. So you'll find out how much, say, one of the things is like intellectual properties. And so you pick up intellectual properties on the cheap at one space station. You find out where other space stations are selling it higher, or buying it at a higher rate. And so you can take that to the other space station and then sell it at the higher rate. So it's almost like a stock market. So you can earn money just in doing that.
Yeah, it's very Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, but
And,
but
I need to check it out.
yeah, it is.
sounds awesome.
If you've ever wanted to play Elite Dangerous, but you're like, oh my god, it's too much. And for me, Elite Dangerous is a little too much. I struggle with it because I don't have the time to dedicate to it. But
Oh,
Rebel
yeah.
Galaxy, you pick up and you can play it. And so from that standpoint, it's a huge win in my book. And it scratches that itch for having that space sim. So don't expect multiplayer. It's not in there. And as far as like a deep, engrossing storyline, there's a little mystery to it, but I mean, it's not something that you're going to be like, oh my god, I love the story. I kind of forget what the story is. It has something to do with an ant. And honestly, I just like going out and being a space trader. because that's my niche. Um, all right. Well,
It does sound very, very good. I need to try that out. But I do want to mention here.
mhm.
So we got some Nintendo love in the chat, and I'd like to
Wait. Well,
say it.
we cannot
Um,
give any Nintendo love.
well, so the Henwood says Nintendo Nintendo make consoles still. Then Rolling Ninja said, "Did you hear their next one? I hear it's going to be called the Paperweight."
Well,
All the
that's the kind of love I like to see, Gary. Um, all right. Robin is working on fixing his line. Again, I think he's actually paying for Ireland's internet connection. So as soon as he gets that wired off, we'll get him reconnected up. I'm just going to keep dialing him on Skype, and hopefully one of these moments he'll jump back on. But until then, let us talk a little bit about some news topics that kind of kicked off this past week. So the first one, not a huge deal, but I thought it was interesting. Xbox basically has said that they're now, with their backwards compatibility titles, they're really just going to when they're ready, they're going to launch them out. It's no longer going to be this every month we're waiting and then we're going to announce all the titles we have coming out. And I don't know how I feel about that, because part of me kind of liked that anticipation of, hey, what are the next titles coming out? And now they're just going to kind of roll out. I think we lose a little bit of that fanfare. But maybe the other part of it, maybe they're having some difficulty with getting other publishers on board. Maybe that's part of it, and maybe they're just like, you know what, we don't want to build this up anymore because what we're finding out, it's getting tougher to get people to say, hey, we'll allow our titles to be backwards compatible. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, Gary.
I'm not like I'd like to play some of my old games, but I got so many new things that I don't know when I'm gonna get back to my old backlog.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, something's gonna come out eventually, and I'll have it, or I'll be able to play it on the Xbox One instead of pulling the 360 back out. That's really all I have for the backwards compatibility stuff, because I don't mind too much. Like I don't pay attention to it. Like basically, I'll just type in an old game and be like, does this work on the Xbox One? And if not, then I'll be like, oh, guess I won't play it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, because much like you, the backlog of new games has gotten so big that I'm not really all that concerned with the backwards compatible titles. But I like kind of knowing that they're back in the fold, if you will, or they're now playable. The game you bought a few years back, let's face it, I think all consoles should come out backwards compatible. It's one of the things Nintendo does absolutely right. And I think it's a travesty, quite honestly, that both Sony and Microsoft didn't have that forward thinking with these consoles to even have emulation at the start. Obviously, we would love to have the hardware solution, but they opted not to go that route, and then suddenly both companies are like, well, maybe it would be a good thing. Maybe we could bring this back, whether it be to make some money like PlayStation's doing with the PS2 games, or with Microsoft, they're just trying to help their public image and kind of help be fan friendly. Again, I just wish they had done it from the get-go, and here you go, Gary. Kudos to Nintendo for having done that.
Yeah.
On all their consoles, by the way. I think they do it for everyone. So,
well, we gotta see what's gonna happen with the NX whenever they announce that stuff. I'm hoping that they do Wii U, backwards compatibility, because the people that didn't buy a Wii U and will buy an NX will be able to go back and do all that stuff. So
yeah.
That would be very good for them.
Well, and it also, I mean, if you think about it, it really gives the NX out of the gate a nice library of games, which the Wii U, I mean, it has had, I guess you could say, because it is backwards compatible for the Wii, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yes. Yep, and they haven't taken it out. So.
Yeah, but let's face it, the last few years of the Wii were not exactly stellar years for games. Think that's fair to say? They had a couple nice games.
Trying
Don't
to
get me wrong. I mean,
remember.
it's not like that we had no good games. They had some good games.
Well,
They
I'm trying to remember because for at least for America, like we had Project, what's it called, Project Rainfall, when we
right.
got Xenoblade Chronicles, the last, oh crap, oh, I can't remember what it's called, the last something, and then Pandora's Tower were
Right.
like the last ones, and I think wasn't I think Skyward Sword was one of the last games that came out too. So we ended on like a Zelda game and stuff. But yeah, there was.
Well, third-party support had pretty much dried up towards the end of the
Oh
Wii,
yeah,
and so I guess that's kind of where I was coming from. I mean,
yeah, and
again,
that's the thing that no, like that's one reason why nobody gets the Nintendo stuff because a lot of people want those third parties on there. But like for me, I like I always say it, like I just play the exclusives on my consoles, and
right.
then like everything else, I play on my PC.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
like that's just how
Mm-hmm.
I go with it.
PC Elite, right? Hey, the Dragon Age lead writer, David Gator, he left BioWare. Um, I don't know that that's the worst thing in the world, though. Dragon Age, I, I don't know. I
Do you
wasn't
think they're
like.
gonna come out with another Dragon Age?
It would be interesting to see what Dragon Age Inquisition did on numbers. I don't know where it's at on its numbers. Um, it seems like it was a game they really wanted to support, but I feel like the hype for Dragon Age Inquisition kind of died pretty quick, and Witcher 3 really took over in terms of like popularity between the big RPGs for next gen. So I don't know. They may not, or they may just give it a little bit of time and maybe you know uh, let it just lie for a few years. Something that other companies should probably do with a lot of their IPs. Um,
Call of
yeah.
Duty.
Well,
So it looks global for Dragon Age Inquisition was 4.42 million, I guess.
I mean,
Guessing that's in million.
yeah, that's not horrible, but I think for probably what they wanted, because I mean that was multi-platform. I think they really probably wanted a larger take on that. Um, you also have to factor in they've got EA Access now, not only for Xbox One but also on PC now. And Dragon Age Inquisition it is part of the Xbox One EA Access. I don't know if it's on PC or not, um, but I
Sold the
imagine,
most on PlayStation.
yeah, I would imagine that impacted their possible sales in some respect. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make another one or not. To be very honest, I don't know. It warrants another one. At least
Yeah,
not in its current iteration.
I guess that's true. Like with EA Access and all that stuff, that you wouldn't see a lot of the numbers just because it was put in there. It was put in rather quick, wasn't it? It was like 6 months after it came out or something that they already put it into the vault for EA
No, I think
Access.
I think they waited like a good 9 months or so. I could be wrong, but um, yeah. Robin, by the way, again, mailing off the payment to the. I don't know if they're going to take his check though. That's
Check
the
bounce.
challenge. Yep, yep, pretty much. I wouldn't take a check from Ireland, just for the record. Uh, so yeah, back to Dragon Age Inquisition though. Yeah, it is. It's a weird RPG for them because I think really Mass Effect is their true baby, the RPG that they really want to kind of foster, and they were hoping Dragon Age Inquisition I think was going to become Mass Effect, and it just hasn't. So I don't know if it's the formula, if it's the team there just doesn't quite do fantasy as well. I don't know. I don't know what the right word is, but I'll say this: I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition because I really thought I was going to enjoy it, and I jumped off Dragon Age Inquisition. I never finished it. Kim Woods absolutely loves Dragon Age, so she's probably yelling at me as she's hearing this. But yeah, I wasn't really pulled in by Dragon Age, but The Witcher 3 I played from start to finish, and I loved that game. So I don't think it's because it was a big RPG. I just think that the story content for Dragon Age Inquisition just wasn't that great, and maybe, in part, then maybe that's David Gator's fault. I don't know. I'll blame him. It's David Gator's fault. Maybe it's good that he's left BioWare. Speaking of things that have left EA, that was a big jump, I know. EA can't get the trademark for Unravel. So, Gary, we were talking about this before the show. So, it was kind of big news, got dropped this past week. EA was filing for trademark Unravel. Yeah, there we go. And they were denied the trademark for the name. And when I first heard this, I was like, oh, they're going to have to change the name. Kind of like what happened with it's Iron Brigade, but I'm trying to remember the original Trenched, the game that came out on Xbox 360. It was basically a mech game, and they had to change the name for Europe to Iron Brigade because somebody else had a trademark on the name, and so they ended up changing the name for the entire game, even in the US, and renamed it Iron Brigade. So I thought that was going to happen with Unravel, but apparently not. You were reading earlier that EA has said that they're just going to power forward.
Yeah,
Trademark be damned.
Yeah, I don't like. We were talking about. Not sure what if they have a toy line or something that would come out of it. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I could see it. Maybe Unravel takes off and becomes a huge success. Then, Unravel little bobbleheads like you had your little Unravel doll.
Yeah.
I don't really know
they
what
put
that is,
that
by
up
the way.
on. What?
Is it like a little doll? Is that what exactly was that?
So the guy with Unravel, he put up a little tutorial how to make your own Yarny, and basically it's let me see if I can grab it. It's somewhere up here. Can't reach it. Okay, so
it's yarn.
There's wire. You take this wire, and then you just bend it, and what you do after, like, you get it all set up and put together and everything, you just wrap yarn around it until it's done. It's very simple. It took me like an hour, 2 hours to complete them.
You are a better man than I, Gary. You are a better man than I. I would not have the patience for that.
I like little arts and crafts, little things to do every once in a while.
No, that's there's nothing wrong with that at all. My wife is a huge arts and crafts person, and I'm not trying to say that there's a thing here that there's nothing.
I mean,
wrong
all
with
Nintendo people like arts and crafts, so
that's true. That is true. It is very true. All right.
Speaking of
arts
Nintendo,
and crafts. Oh, Nintendo. Back to this topic.
Amiibos.
Picked
up a few Amiibo today.
Well, that is. It's very fortuitous that you brought this up, Gary, because of course we want to talk about Amiibos. The upcoming Zelda Amiibo for Twilight Infinite, I think it is. That's the next Zelda game. Am I wrong on this, Gary? I know you know this.
You're talking about the remake, the Twilight Princess.
Right. So they have an Amiibo for it coming out. It's a wolf Amiibo.
Yeah, it's Wolf Link. Yeah.
Just keep correcting me. This is good. This is why I need you here, Gary. It's why I need you here. So it unlocks a challenge dungeon within the game. Right? So what I don't know, and so again, if I'm saying this incorrectly and it turns out I'm wrong, then by all means crucify me, send in your hate. But what scares me about this is it sounds like in order to get this challenge dungeon, you need to buy this Amiibo. So
I don't know if it's being sold separately or if every single copy is going to have the Amiibo in it, because I know, as far as I know, the only one you can buy is the one that's bundled with it, and it may just be a thing that give people with an Amiibo and stuff, maybe trying to get people to buy more of them, give them a little incentive. But yeah, like I know it's unlocking dungeon. I don't know if it's eventually like you can just buy the game, but like so. It's I don't know much about the dungeon itself. I don't know how much is to it because I know what. Oh, I think that was okay. I'm thinking Wind Waker, I believe, but there was a dungeon that like you went down levels, like I can't remember. It was like 50 levels that you go down in this dungeon.
Right.
I think it was Wind Waker. So I don't know if it's going to be something like that. Um,
Well,
but
I guess it's a scary premise if we start seeing companies with these toys to life, in particular the toys to life. Although you could really make this probably argument for any game that has any kind of add-on that you have to buy this add-on to access this in-game area or in-game storyline, anything of that nature. I mean, Dragon Age, quite honestly, used to do that with their add-on DLC. It was like you would go back to base camp, and there would be like somebody sitting off to the side and be like, "Hey, come talk to me," and you'd walk over, and they'd be like, "You want to come help me fight this, Orc King?" And you're like, "Sure, I'd love to help you fight this Orc King." And they're like, "Great, go to the store and pay $10." And so that's what scares me about this, is that they're going to be like, oh, well, if you want to get the challenge room, hey, you need to buy this amiibo. And
I mean,
people will. They're already buying
yeah,
them. So,
like um, I think Skylander's been doing it for years now. With you can only go to this area or do this bit if you have the fire Skylander or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know how much they're locking behind. If it's only like a dungeon, and if it's like that challenge. I mean, I'm reading this one thing here. It says something about the Cave of Shadows. New challenge is called Cave of Shadows. Blah blah blah. High
yeah,
score.
it didn't say. So I guess what I'm getting back to though is
Oh yeah,
is this
54
challenge room?
dungeon. There we go.
Yeah, is this challenge room locked unless you have the amiibo, or can you unlock it somehow in game without the amiibo, but the amiibo just unlocks it from the get-go? That I wouldn't have a problem with, to be very honest. I don't care about shortcuts. Like, Battlefield 4, they had all of these, rifle packs where it's like, you can unlock these sniper rifles early. Yeah, okay, fine. If you don't want to, wait the time in game, but they're available in game. You could get to them in some fashion or another. To me, those things don't bother me. I know they bother some people.
It could be a thing. Maybe once you beat the game, it opens up. They haven't said anything about it.
Yeah.
But,
Again, who knows? I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see on this one. But it's an area that I feel like a lot of companies could really start to exploit. We've seen a lot of companies trying to kind of dabble in this area already.
Well, if you want the biggest one, Shovel Knight, they locked the whole multiplayer thing behind the amiibo, and I haven't been able to get it because I've been trying to play with Teflon, the co-op stuff, and I can't do it because I can't get the amiibo. So.
Okay, so then, thank you. You confirmed Nintendo is evil.
Well, I don't think that's Nintendo that chose to lock it behind the amiibo. I think that was
Oh,
Yacht Club that actually
know it
did
is, Gary. You know it is. Come on.
It could be. I don't know.
No, it is not just Nintendo. Obviously, we've seen a lot of companies doing this kind of thing, but it's just that further. They're always trying to find that one next way that they can just get that extra dollar out of you. Because I mean, ultimately, they don't want games to cost $60. They want a game to cost $100.
Yeah.
And so they want us buying the extra stuff. And so instead of putting a $100 price tag on it and saying, okay, you buy it and you get everything, they say, oh, we'll give it to you for $60. Then we'll
the
just
season pass has been
add the season
crazy
pass
anymore.
Yeah.
But it was like can't remember what I was gonna say. Move on. Maybe I'll remember.
Yeah, we'll move on. All right. Well, let us move on. So this is where things will get a little weird for you. Actually, no. I was going to go with the trivia. I'm going to hold off on the trivia on the hopes that Robin is able to somehow twist the wires together, steal internet access from his neighbor, or jump in the car and actually access the internet through his phone. I don't know. He's working on that as we speak. I keep getting these little messages. Hang in there. Almost there. Working on it. He sounds like a typical, Comcast, AT&T professional. But let's talk.
Your call is very important to us.
Yeah, your call is very, very important to us. Please hold. let us talk about most anticipated game you think will fail. So I thought this was an interesting topic, and of course I think it's interesting because I came up with it. But so I mean, there's a lot of games that I'm looking forward to. And so I will, out of the gates, I'm going to say one. Mike Chin is going to like shit himself when he hears me say this. But, a game that I have huge on my anticipation list, but I think could very well fail, is Halo Wars 2. I they got the system was kind of perfected in Halo Wars. So from that standpoint, I'm like, I don't think it'll fail. But as I think about it, it's a new developer. They're not the old developer at all. There's no, ties there. So maybe they're going to try monkeying around with things. Maybe they're going to try and do things differently. And that scares me a little bit. And it leads me to start to think, you know what? Yeah, you never know. I want this game to succeed. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super jazzed about Halo Wars 2 coming out. But do I think it could fail? Yeah, it could fall flat on its face and be a bad sequel. 100%. What about you, Gary? What do you think? What could fail in your eyes? Something that you're looking forward to, something maybe that's gotten a lot of hype.
See, I think I said this on our last podcast. I'm not sure. Like, there's only one game that I'm really looking. Well, two. There's Unravel, and then there's Zelda Wii U. Are the only two I'm thinking about right now. And well, God, I hope Unravel doesn't fail. It shouldn't. It's a puzzle platformer, but we're not even going to talk about Zelda Wii U because it's going to be amazing.
Now it could. Yeah. I don't know.
It's. We gotta see how it's gonna do with the whole open world thing too. So, but I haven't been keeping like up on anything because I kind of want to be really surprised with it. But hey, it could fail. One of the ones that I think you hinted that this was going to be on yours. I'm thinking the Division could probably fail. Because I just have a feeling because it's that MMO kind of thing. It's a shooter,
right?
And I don't think it's gonna do that great compared to what people are thinking. I will be in the beta coming next week, so
okay,
next weekend. So I'm gonna give it a shot. And
so in some respects, it can't fail at this point. In that, well, I shouldn't say it that way. Sales wise, I have a feeling it's probably going to do okay.
Oh, I have a feeling it's going to be like a Destiny thing,
right?
Because it's got that same, always co-op with your, multiplayer with your friends and going around, the different locations. And I just have a feeling at the very beginning, because they showed that thing at E3, everybody's going to try to dick everybody over at the end of a mission. Everybody's going to do it.
Yeah,
and I will jump off that game right away. If I do two of them in a row and it just comes down to people being assholes, I'm probably not going to pick it up again. And that's where it's going to really fail. If that's going to be people's mentality, is not to take it all and leave the other people with nothing all the time.
All right, I'm trying to bring Robin in.
So he actually said he's ready. Oh,
I know he's and of course he's coming up busy, which is funny because
hello,
there he is.
Yay.
There he is.
Robin Tate. So real quickly, we will side table our conversation, Gary, for a moment, just because Robin, you literally have gotten in your car.
I've just driven 10 miles. And I'm stuck at a set of traffic lights, which seems to be all stuck on red. No. I'm on my way to McDonald's. So I'm driving now. So give me 2 minutes, and I'll be at a McDonald's, and I'll just park up and snatch their Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah. Let's not drop the connection, Robin. Keep the line open.
Perfect.
Mute yourself. This way we don't lose you. Order a Big Mac. Maybe get yourself a chocolate shake or something to,
No, I'm going to sit in the car outside McDonald's.
That's perfectly fine.
We want to
to
hear
my-
live you ordering through the drive-through.
Yes, yes, you should go through the
Unfortunately-
drive-through.
Unfortunately, my wife at home right now, if she comes downstairs out of bed, she's going to wonder where the hell I am because I've left everything on.
Right.
So, what the hell? I might get a telephone call from her going, where the hell are you? Anyway, okay, 2 minutes.
Fair enough. All right. Well, getting back to our conversation on,
Well, let's hold on. Let's do the chat. So
please, yes.
Step J says The Division. He says No Man's Sky, and I don't know if he was answering one of ours, but he says it will fail like Watch Dogs 2. So
I'm thinking that's
oh wait,
the
hold on.
Division.
Maybe he's talking to somebody else. Hold on. Rolling Ninjas. A lot of people said that about the first one, though. I
Pretty
don't know.
sure they're talking the Division. A lot of people are thinking it's potentially going to be the next Watch Dogs. In that, they've had the downgrades. There's
Oh,
been
yeah,
definite
that's
talk
right.
of that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rolling Ninja says it's not always co-op. You can play completely by yourself if you want. I guess that's kind of. Is there a story to it?
There is a story to it. My
Okay,
understanding,
I
there
just know
also
there's-
is. It's an actual story with an ending, unlike Destiny. And basically, once you're finished with the story, of course, you just can keep playing along. So, I don't think they necessarily resolve the crisis that's happening in New York, so that way you can keep playing within the world. But my guess is there's going to be something that you're trying to do ultimately, and you can do that, and that will wrap up the story, but then you'll still be able to go out and take on missions. Real quickly, Skulldugger, he threw in some funny ones to our tweet earlier today. So he said games that will fail that he's looking forward to. Defense Grid VR. That, by the way, I don't think that would fail. Just gonna say that. Elite Dangerous on the iPhone. Violin Hero. Also, yeah, that I think actually out of all of them probably is the biggest fail right there, Skulldugger. The fact that you're looking forward to that, Rich, issues, my friend, issues. And he said that this does need to happen, though. Rocket League with mobility scooters. Bestseller right there. So yeah, Rocket League with mobility scooters. It needs to be complete, though, with some blue hairs riding on top. That's my own little add-in. All right, well, I'm going to throw another one out that I think is hugely anticipated. I have two more that I want to talk about. So hugely anticipated game, not necessarily by myself, though. And yeah, I know a lot of people can be, of course you would say this, Greg, but The Last Guardian. I think this game absolutely could just bomb.
Yeah, I think it's been so long that people are going to be like, okay, this is not what. This isn't giving enough for being
Right.
out. How many years?
Yeah.
I don't even know how many years it's been in development anymore. But
It's been like 7, I think.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been forever.
it is up there.
And I think the biggest disappointment so far is just how little was seemed to be done since then for what they showed at E3.
Yeah.
Because it was like exactly the same thing or whatever, and it didn't look like the graphics were upped or anything since then either. Like it looked almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
All
right,
Rolling
I'm here.
Ninjas is yay.
All right, Robin. If you would be so kind, we're talking most anticipated games we think can fail. From your captain's chair in your car, which I am assuming at this point you are not out in a Jaguar.
No, the Audie's out for a spin tonight. So
Nice.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I've left my notes at home, so from memory, I think The Witness may be a flop. It's out later on this month. Mr. Blow. I don't think he'll be able to create the magic twice.
Is it coming? I think it came out this week, or it's coming
Yeah,
out
I
next
think
week.
it's
It's
think
Yeah.
it's
either
almost
out
out.
or coming out. But yeah, okay, The Witness. Yeah.
I'm skeptical that it can do Braid again.
It comes out in 3
so-
days.
Okay.
So I'm skeptical about it. I am also skeptical about The Division. I really want The Division to be good, but just Ubisoft's track record with Watch Dogs They do need to make it good. Now I've seen it at EGX and it did look good, so I'm leaning on the side of positive. But oh dear, if that's bad, it'll disappear very, very, very quickly from everyone's radar.
And if it's bad, I mean, Ubisoft, they're kind of, I mean, well, I guess you could say Assassin's Creed Syndicate actually is a pretty damn good game. It just didn't get traction with anybody because everybody still remembered Unity.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, that's probably on all your lists, which is I don't know if you've been talking about it already. No Man's Sky, I think, has to be that on the highest of lists of possible disappointments this year.
Yeah, that is way hyped. I mean, everybody is saying this is the next coming of Christ, basically, and yeah, it could be boring as all get out. I don't know.
I wouldn't pick this because everyone else already has. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Look, I think it'll be a competent game, but I think it'll be like a 70, 60 sort of rated game that people will get bored of pretty quick, and it won't be as deep as they want it to be. And again, I've said it before, I feel sorry for the developers. They had a good concept, which was just this little thing they were tinkering with,
Right.
and they got sucked up, bought up, and
Well, they became like the face of Sony for a while.
yeah, and they've been shoehorned into giving it story and depth, which they probably never ever meant to do. It was probably just a cool thing to be able to take off from a planet
Right.
with random purple dinosaurs and dancing horses from that silly island. Pony Island, probably. Pony Island ponies are not there, and the devil have probably made all the different planets.
Expansion pack.
Yeah. yeah.
That's why that game in a heart.
Well, let's go over to Gary. Gary, do you have any others that you want to throw out there?
Well, I want to mention Prontos also says No Man's Sky will fail. And I'm gonna bring this up also because Rolling Ninjas said what we think about Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I'm not sure I know enough. Like, I know there's gonna be the co-op missions, doing all that stuff. Again, I don't even know if there's a single player to it.
Well,
But,
I will throw this out there, and the reason why there are certain games I avoided because I don't know that they're going to make 2016. So I really was trying to only take games that I thought were going to be 2016. And I only picked The Last Guardian because Sony has said it will come out this year.
Scotch Mist.
It just may not, but so yeah. So I mean, Ghost Recon Wildlands. I want to see more. Obviously, it looks very promising. I love Ghost Recon games, but I can't say that Ghost Recon has been on a roll at all either. I think Ubisoft in general has kind of hit a little bit of a lull with a lot of their titles. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll throw in another big one as well there. The Halo effect. As good as Halo 5 was,
right,
and it was a good game. It was a competent game, but it was a pretty bland game. I kind of think Gears is heading that way as well this year.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay.
It's that it could be a really good, competent game, but just maybe we've had enough of Gears, And people are talking that way about Uncharted as well. Maybe.
Yeah. See, I don't think Uncharted.
New stuff.
I mean, looking at this, I mean, anticipated games that could fail. I don't think Uncharted can fail, and I don't necessarily think Gears can fail.
Yeah.
It may disappoint a little.
What do you mean by fail? Do you mean by fail as in, Watch Dogs sold an absolute shitload?
True.
And the Kinect was the biggest selling spherical ever.
Yeah.
I can never
Peripheral.
Yeah, in the world ever. So what is fail? Is fail like?
So I guess maybe we could put some qualifiers to fail.
Disappointment, maybe.
Yeah. So I guess there's two ways in which a game can fail, really, right? So there's the critical reception of a game. It may just score super low and people just don't give it high marks. And then there's, of course, the sales side of it. So I think you can qualify these failures in one of two ways. You could say, you know what, Gears 4, it may get sales, but it's gonna fail critically, and it's gonna, and again, not trying to do like predictions here, but you're saying that this game could very well fail on a critical acclaim level.
Yeah.
You could
Okay.
put it in the same, maybe like Evolve, how everyone was all hyped for it, and then nobody, like a month in, was playing it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of died off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, take
like-
the example of Tomb Raider at the moment, where it released on the same day as Fallout, and the last release of Tomb Raider, which just, I mean, it sold millions of copies, but the developers said,
It
the
took a while.
publishers said that they were disappointed with it. But again, Tomb Raider is a fabulous, fabulous game, made top fives, number ones on many a person's list last year, and it seemingly hasn't done mega numbers.
Yeah.
So that's a failure of a sales
Right.
kind, but definitely the game is no fail whatsoever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other one I think could fail. Dark Souls 3. I'm wondering if we're getting to a weird saturation point with the Souls games, and this could be blasphemy. Again, Mark is probably screaming at me at this point. I've offended many people on our podcast.
Does Mark like Dark Souls, or is he just like Bloodborne? I know he was.
He
I
likes
know he
Dark
loved
Souls. He likes Dark Souls. He loves Bloodborne. He likes those games in general.
I
think all
suck at
the
them.
Dark Souls fans are going to buy it. Definitely they're going to suck it up and they're going to love it. But for somebody
Well, I
coming
guess
to it new, that it's a scary thing to come into. This tough as nails punishment game. Do you want to come in at the game 3? I mean, how do they attract new players to it?
Well, I mean, so the Souls series was, and you can say it's still on this upward trajectory with Bloodborne, because Bloodborne really is, it's a Souls game not named Souls, and so it's been doing great, but I just, and God knows I've made all these kind of thoughts about Call of Duty as well, and it never
Best-selling
stops.
game
Yeah,
last year.
Fuck. But so Dark Souls 3, I just wonder if maybe because they re-released Dark Souls 2 out onto the next gen console, so we kind of had that HD version of it, and I don't get a sense they're doing a lot different with Dark Souls 3, and the hype hasn't been there either, and maybe that's going to come. Obviously, it could very well still come. But
Interesting.
I don't know. I just wonder if the media also is kind of like waning on it.
I could see the this being a good swan song for the Souls series. I mean, Jason says the director said he's ready to move on from Souls, but Jason also says that the Souls community will eat it up, and he's like one of the biggest Dark Souls fans I know. He loves that game, but yeah, I guess it depends how it goes, because Dark Souls 2 people were disappointed, said it was a little bit easier. Some people said it was harder. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, it's just this is kind of one of those things where I'm like, maybe the magic formula has kind of run its course, and so Dark Souls 3 isn't going to separate or differentiate itself enough from the other games. Yes, the hardcore Dark Souls fans are going to buy it. They're going to enjoy it probably, but maybe they won't enjoy it, and maybe so it'll get a little early bump of sales, but there's not going to be that upward trajectory on sales like there have been. Maybe it sells under. It doesn't sell as well as say 2 did.
Yeah, I think it's in the tail.
Yeah.
I just
and
remembered I pre-ordered the collector's edition of it.
everything I said just now, forget. Never mind.
Yeah,
Dark Souls
yeah,
3 is going to be
yeah,
a
look,
success.
To the fans, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't see the fans not enjoying it enough. I mean,
Right.
it's it's got such a, maybe not a small community, but it's just for certain types of people. Like, not everyone's gonna play a Souls game.
True.
But the people that play it will play it and love it. And Rolling Ninja says, yeah, I think Dark Souls is going to be solid so long as they keep up the difficulty. The moment that dips, it's all over for the game. And Jason says it won't dip.
It's dipping. It's swooning. All right. Let us shift gears once again. So this is going to be a little challenging because, of course, Robin is calling in from McDonald's. in the comfort of his car, I still say you should have gone through the drive-through. Or is it closed, Robin?
No, it's open. It's amazing. I'm in this car park, and I'm immediately brought back to my teenage years.
Damn,
All
Robin,
these-
Big Mac
all
and a
these
chocolate shake. Come
Small
on.
cars arriving with R plates, which are drivers that have just passed their test within the year, and they're just touring around the car park.
Wait a minute.
Packed 5 in a car, 5 in a
So,
like at the
Robin?
hop. Yeah.
So this is something. This is a cultural difference. So in the UK, when you get a driver's license, is that actually associated with your license plate?
No, there's a sticker goes on your window. So while you're learning, there's a big L goes on, and for the next year, you have to have an R on your window. So you're limited to 45 miles an hour. You're not allowed on a freeway and stuff like that there for a
What?
year.
We fucking need that in this country, just for the record.
Yeah.
We need that in this country now.
Yeah.
Especially
That
with
is
the weather
brilliant.
over here. How bad
Yeah.
how bad people drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Well, okay.
I mean, I'm wearing an IAM 200 badge today, so I'm sure I could score if I went in there. Old man at McDonald's on the
Good.
pool Saturday night.
Go in there and just be like, "It's my birthday. Give me a Big
it's
Mac."
my birthday. It's my birthday.
So I mean,
Going to
I'm
get to the
assuming
gay
they
bar. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Nope, never mind. Doesn't matter now. Doesn't matter. Let's talk
This
about
is
trivia.
unique.
This is going to be a challenge because, of course, what we've been doing. So, Gary,
Okay,
I don't know
you
if
have to
you've
trust.
been
This is
listening of
trust.
late. We have this new trivia system. So, I'm going to give a trivia question to both of you. It's multiple choice, 1 through 4. Well, 1 through 4, I say that. There's going to be four choices, and you will write your answer down on your cat.
Yeah, she won't leave me alone.
So I'll have you write your answer down. Robin, you're going to give your answer. Once I see that Gary has his answer, you're going to just hold it up for me, Gary. Then, Robin, I'll have you give me what your answer is. Then I will reveal what Gary's answer is. And then we'll find out who's right.
Okay, I have a unique way to give you my answer.
Yes.
But anyway, okay.
And, again, had I been truly prepared, I would have told Gary about this long ago. So he would have had a pad and paper next to his desk.
I always have my my notepad for the for our podcast. My pen is upstairs.
I love the fact that your cat is still just on your desk, like tail. It's like a shark.
Yep, she won't. She doesn't leave me alone. Here, let me throw her.
Now we're talking. Animal abuse. Live on the Overseas Connection podcast. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Teflon Trivia Challenge. We need to give him props. So Jason Johnson wrote in, gave us 2 questions. Here's the first question. Both of you will be getting a shot to answer this. Which developer created XCOM Enemy Unknown? Was it A, Paradox Interactive, B, Creative Assembly, C, Fraxis Games, or D, Mohawk Games? Go ahead and write down your answer, Gary. All right.
Just run
Robin?
through the 4 names again. The 4 names quickly.
Paradox, Creative Assembly, Fraxis, or Mohawk?
Okay.
What is your answer, Robin?
Fraxis. Creative Assembly was second, wasn't it? And then
Correct.
so
Creative Assembly is your answer. Fantastic. I love it. And Gary, you took Fraxis Games, right? That is
think so.
correct. Yes. Internet, we have a winner, and that is Gary. It is Fraxis Games, yes.
what
I
did
had
Creative
no
Assembly
idea.
do?
Creative Assembly, it wasn't XCOM. Were
And
they
did
part of
Fraxis?
Burnout? No.
Did Fraxis also do XCOM, the one you love?
Well, XCOM Enemy Unknown and XCOM Enemy Within, both made by Fraxis. Both games I love.
I thought that was
Yes.
a tricky question. Okay, sorry.
No,
Damn.
no, not a tricky question. So, Gary, way to score a point. You are legend now. You are 1 for 1.
I had no idea.
Next question. Never admit to that, Gary. Never admit to that. You knew it like the back of your hand. Here we go. Who is the final boss in Borderlands 2? Who is the final boss in Borderlands 2? Is it A, Handsome Jack, B, the Warrior, C, Hyperius, or D, the Empyrean Sentinel? Hang on, Gary. Have you got your answer yet? Handsome Jack, the Warrior, Hyperius, or the Empyrean Sentinel?
I know it's between two of them. Like, I don't want to make a mistake, but
I need an answer because Robin has rolled his window down. He is starting to freeze.
Trying to think. You know what? I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be this one. I'll do this.
All right, Gary is locked in. Robin?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's a police car passing me. And it's 1:45 in the morning.
No.
There you go.
All right. So you both have answered with A, Handsome Jack. You both are incorrect.
Damn it! I knew.
No way!
It is the Warrior, B.
See, if I go back one page,
What is the
I
warrior?
chose B.
was it- What was the warrior? I remember fighting Handsome Jack forever. Was
See,
there
I
something
couldn't
after
remember.
Handsome Jack?
I couldn't remember if you fought the.
Issues with
Does
quality
Handsome Jack
control.
become the warrior? Is that what it was?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think
honestly,
so.
I never
That's
finished
dodgy.
Borderlands 2, but any complaints, please lodge them to Teflon12.
Right, okay.
At Teflon12, send it to his Twitter account, and he, I'm sure, will answer kindly. Thank you, Jason Johnson. That was fantastic, as always. So, Gary, on the board with the podcast. Well done.
Yay.
You got a point. Robin, staying consistent. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
My number?
I like consistency, Robin. There is something to be said. And we are tracking these points. So right now, Gary, if you can believe this, you're actually tied for the lead after 3 podcasts of this new trivia system. You're right there neck and neck with Mark and Nicole. So there you have it. All right. Let us move a little further. So, Robin, I know you don't have your notes in front of you,
Yep.
so I'll just kind of take control. We are going to talk about things going on like new releases. So this coming week, here are the new releases, things you can go out and spend money on or steal from the back counter. I don't know. Civilization.
There's a Vita game.
Yes, there is. Civilization Revolution 2 Plus for the Vita. Who said the Vita's dead? Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS. We've got Lego Marvel's Avengers coming on January 26th. Order of the Throne, The King's Challenge on PC on the 26th as well. The Witness coming to PS4 and PC. And Rise of the Tomb Raider makes its way onto PC next week. A lot of people excited for that. Bombshell, also coming to PC. And This War of Mine, the game about the kids impacted by war, coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. And finally, Tropico 5, the complete collection, coming to PC on January 29th, rounding out the week. So there you have it.
Yeah, that's it starting again. Yep.
Yep. It is starting to ramp up. Definitely.
I'm interested in this. It's not Order of the Throne. It's Order of the Thorn.
Order of the Thorn. Did I say throne?
Yeah.
My bad. Order of the Thorn, the King's Challenge.
It looks like something I would actually be interested in.
So
have to
I
give
will
it a
take
shot.
that as meaning it's Japanesey. It's also a platform puzzler.
I think it's got puzzle elements to it.
You got one thing to
By
say.
what I'm looking at.
Pony Island.
Pony Island, yeah. We're still looking into that, Gary. We're investigating you for Pony Island. All right, ongoing things happening in the community.
Yeah. Well, I can help out a bit there. Greg,
Fire away, Robin.
if you want to. So, of course, we have our ongoing Halo matches that are going on there, and there's if you have a look for the G4T clan on Halo, there are some people still interested in playing Halo. Of course, we've got Boom Beach and Clash of Clans ongoing. I failed miserably at both of my war matches today. going 0. Nobody had any sort of sympathy for a man on his birthday. But the biggest thing I think that's going on in the community at the moment is Henwood and Parsnip there, especially Henwood, putting in a lot of effort into the
Yes.
Ford Loopies mini challenge, and we had round 2 of the mini challenge this week on the Circuit of the Americas circuit, and there was about 15 or 16 of us turned up. It was a great night's racing, absolutely fantastic. I actually have some results for it.
This is
there.
good. We only need to really talk about the first race, by the way, Robin, because that's really the only one that counts.
Well, if you can tell the folk just a little about your experience there, I'll just pull up these results here, okay?
Yes, I absolutely can. So, of course, we race, the league races on Wednesdays, and I had previously had a meeting that was going to be interfering with me getting on early. And so, unbeknownst to me, because I hadn't been checking my WhatsApp, the guys in the league had moved the race time back a half hour. And so it started a little bit later. And unfortunately, in my infinite wisdom, I had taken some meetings later in the afternoon, purposely pushing them out a little bit because I was like, well, I'll try and free up that 1 o'clock hour. So needless to say, I was only to take part in one race on
Oops.
Wednesday.
I think that was kind of my fault because I'd asked for it for a half hour later.
Not a worry. Not a worry. Not a worry.
Anyway, look, I have the results for the series so far. My mini was on fire. Absolutely on fire. And
Yes.
I won race 1. And I won race 2. What?
That is
Yes,
phenomenal,
that-
Robin. That is phenomenal.
Fantastic. I was
But-
just on fire.
Robin,
But I
Robin.
have the championship standings at the moment. And here we go. We have, and I've just lost them because I turned the phone around. 1 second.
Robin, I think we should point out.
So, in
Hold
the
on,
Pro
Robin,
League,
Robin,
we
Robin,
have me,
Robin,
Bongo the Saiyan.
Robin. I could just do this for hours. He's not going to hear me at all because he's on his
Matching
phone.
now in the lead with Wudan on 48 points. Jinja Ninja in second, I suppose. Fish and Henwood there in fourth. And in the amateur league, you've got Psycho Womble, followed by Dino, Parsnip, Blue Brew, and Quijibo Jones. And Greg is in a very, very respectable 6th place. So that
It's not that respectable.
yeah, it is. It's good. Yeah, brilliant. It's great. It's fun. It is.
Oh my
really
God, it's
good,
totally
good
fun. It is absolutely fun, and I would just like to point out I actually finished 9th in the first race. So
Well, there you go. You're still in 6th in that grouping, so that's
Right.
really good. So the next race is next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's about 1 o'clock Los Angeles time,
right.
and whatever halfway across. So look, there are still spaces. There are people that can't make it every single week. If you have Forza 6 and you want to laugh, doesn't matter what your skill level is, just contact at Bongo the Saiyan, and I will get you sorted out and get you
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, we even had somebody who jumped into the race this past week. It was Webby from.
Yeah, Mojo Interactive, which
Thank
is
you.
started
I
up again.
always, for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I'm drawing a blank on it. And it's probably because they've been not podcasting, and now they're starting back up again, which is good. It'll help me remember the name of the podcast.
Yeah. Poor old Webby. He jumped in. I don't think he knew exactly what he was getting into. Webby would be a very sociable guy and jumped
Yes.
in. And I think even the amateurs blew Webby away. So, but it was nice of him to jump in to our race there.
It was
So
fun.
yeah, great. Thank you, Henwood. Thank you very much. It is great fun.
Yes.
From the track racing, I think it's trackracing.com. You can find out more information about all of the races that the Henwood puts on. So
Right.
that's great. And I think we move into some victories achieved.
Yes.
Yeah, and at the bottom of the victories achieved, if you're looking at that list now, there's also a little league table of completions at the moment as well. Greg, if you want to have a wee quick
Yep.
read at that too.
The completion chart. Yeah.
Completion chart.
Yes.
We're going to have a nice prize at the end of the year for the person or persons who complete the most games throughout the year, and more details will be revealed.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So the completion chart. I mean, so far what we can say is Amras, you have 3 games completed. Companion Cube also completed 3 games. Pixel Theater, Hardly Dan, Pilshreed, and Colin for the win all at 2. So awesome stuff. There's a prize awaiting one of you or somebody else. You never know. Because everybody could just start playing Pony Island like Hardly Dan. Yeah, victories achieved. So this also, it's a contest. It's a random draw contest.
I love this contest.
You beat a game, you take a selfie, you tweet it out to us at g4te.com. Make sure you spell the dot and send it to at g4te.com because technically it's our website that's running this contest, not the podcast. So we want to make sure it goes to at g4te.com. Again, spell the dot. Hopefully by now this is setting in. And anytime between January 1st, if you're going to go back in time, you can submit games in, last week or so, all the way up to March 31st. And you send that selfie in, and you get entered into a random draw contest where you win, potentially, $20 or £15. It is a simple... it's a simple contest. Play games, win money. Who doesn't like that? And it's either PSN, Xbox Live, or Steam money. So that's
Love it.
And I
Love
keep yelling at my podcast listening device every time. What about if I want Wii U money? Nintendo money?
Well, I'm sure
wait.
something could be arranged. Like
No.
we could help you sell your Wii.
No friendo, Gary.
Craigslist.
No friendo. Or Nintendo.
Yeah. And of course, the other competition we have running, you'll help me with the dates, Greg, is our We Are Epic video competition, which is now running for another quarter. And the idea behind We Are Epic is that you take a 30-second clip of you being absolutely awesome, absolutely stupid, or absolutely funny. And you fire that off onto our Facebook page, or you can email it to me at bongo@g4te.com. And I'll put it up on Facebook for you. That runs for 3 months. We pick a winner out of the best of them. Sometimes it goes to public vote. And you can also win money for that too. So that runs this quarter as well.
And also, it basically is running in conjunction with Victories Achieved. So both kicked off on the 1st of January, and they'll run all the way through the end of March.
I have a fabulous one of me, an Assassin's Creed Black Flag there with I jumped off my ship while I was sailing the ship in the middle of the very rough sea, and I never landed. And I'm paddling the air like mad. I must get that up. It just wouldn't come down. He was still steering the ship, but I was in the midair.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Good competitions. Nice to have a bit of interaction.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we can kind of wrap things up. If you want to be part of this conversation, you want to listen to us as we talk live, the best way to do that is to jump on to your computer or tablet or whatever mobile device you have that can get onto Twitch and do it on Saturday right around the hour of 3 o'clock Pacific or 11 o'clock in the UK. And if you're in some other time zone, do the math. It's fairly simple. And just type in live.g4te.com into the browser, and that will dump you into our Twitch page, and you will see... Gary, you're killing me, Gary. You're killing me. You'll see our Twitch feed live at that point. You can, of course, download the show on iTunes. We put it up onto YouTube, so you can watch it there if you want after it's aired. Of course, it's also on Stitcher, so there's ways you can get our podcast. You can email the show, podcast@g4te.com. You can tweet us at OC_podcast. And of course, we do have a prize fund. We don't require you to make any donations to us. We don't ask for money other than if you want to give us some money for the prize fund. That's going to probably come back to the community anyway, unless we start embezzling money through like Nigerian scams, in which case maybe you won't get the money back. But that all said and done, we do really appreciate everybody who participates in our community because it helps us continue on. It makes it fun. So thank you. And, of course, you can follow our gamer tags. And right there on the screen, you can follow Gary at Amras89 on Twitter. You can follow at Bongo the Sane. You can follow at OC_Murphy's Law. And I think we should do some shout-outs. So, Gary, why don't you take the lead? Shout-out. You plug your show again for us. You're muted, Gary.
I forgot I muted while I turned around. The game's an RPG. See, this would be cut out if it was in my show.
Right, right. We
Um,
we keep it all real here, man.
all real.
We had
Yeah.
Robin going to McDonald's, for Christ's sake, just to get an internet connection and a Big Mac. Which, Robin, if you don't get a Big Mac now, I'm going to be very disappointed.
If we don't get any sponsorship from McDonald's, I'll also be very, very annoyed.
I have some contacts. I'm going to make a call. This guy, Ronald McDonald. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's big on the whole
Oh, I don't like
McDonald's scene.
clowns.
Yeah, they are scary. Speaking of clowns, Gary, continue on.
Good. Yeah. So, yeah, we record every Sunday. Show's normally out on a Monday, maybe a Tuesday, depending on how long it is. But I'm gonna shout out the chat because I'm stealing it. So there's somebody in here, RCGC. Don't know who that is.
RCGC? All right.
Step J's in there. Teflon 12. There's been a lot of conversation between Teflon, Rolling Ninjas, the Henwood. Prawn Toast 1 was in there. Step J said a few things, and that's most of the conversation in there. So yeah, shout out to all those people watching, and thank you guys for having me on. Normally I'm the backup because, well, I need to be I'm probably just as bad as Frasier anymore with being on podcasts because I've been on Game Punchers, Boss Wave, everyone anymore. So yeah,
You're a bit of a whore.
I love being a whore.
Again, good thing your wife's not close.
Oh yeah. Oh, I normally tell her all the bad stories.
Don't tell her the bad stories. Make good stories up. That's my marriage advice to you right now.
Maybe whenever she stops. Well, I mean, love stops once you get married. That's just what happens.
No.
No more sex.
No, Gary. No, it's the sex stops. The love is still there, Gary. It's the sex that stops. And then the sex becomes a weapon.
Saying nothing. I'm in my birthday suit.
All right, Robin.
Yeah, I would like to shout out Dalkin Monster. Thinking
Yes.
about you, buddy. Yeah, so just thoughts are with you, mate. Heard a few things and just thoughts are with you, man. I would like to big non-shout out to BT for dropping the broadband at my house, which has never ever happened before in such a way.
Never.
I like a big massive shout out to McDonald's. And thank you very much for letting me podcast in your car park this evening.
Oh my God, Robin! It just dawned on me why you went to McDonald's, because they have free Wi-Fi there.
Free Wi-Fi. Yeah. And I live in the middle of the countryside, so there's no 4G, no 3G. Yeah, so quick 10-mile drive. That's a unique
I was
one.
trying to figure that one out. I couldn't figure out why you were going to McDonald's of all the places. I mean, I thought maybe the parking lot was just convenient or something. No. Free
Dedication.
Wi-Fi.
We shout out to Henwood. Thank you very much, mate. And finally, a massive shout out to all of the people. Oh, God, I've been gobsmacked by all the birthday wishes today. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for making my day very, very special. And this is one birthday that I shall remember for quite a while. for these reasons. Gary, thank you very much for filling in when I disappeared for half an hour there. Thank you. That was an awkward situation. So
it would have been a really odd podcast if somebody else wasn't here.
I would hold a conversation with myself. I can do it. I'm capable, I think.
The show must go on. That's what I say. So yeah, thank you very much. Greg, over to you, sir, to wind her up.
Or wind her down. Hey, thank you to both of you. Gary, thank you for jumping on last minute. And Robin, thank you for getting in your car and going to McDonald's to get a Wi-Fi connection. And I'm assuming now, as I'm realizing all of how this all really played out, because the connection wasn't happening on my end, but I realize you probably quickly unplugged your laptop, grabbed your headset, ran out the door, probably in your PJs at minimum, into your car, driving off to McDonald's, and you're now sitting in McDonald's, basically in your PJs with your laptop.
Yep. Well, I don't know about that. No, I'm not. No? Don't even on the laptop. I'm on the phone.
Just on the phone.
Pants off.
On the phone with my slippers on, no microphone, Everything's left on in the house. My wife has no idea where I am.
I would like to say you sound actually really good now for being on
Yeah.
your phone.
Yeah, there you go.
Props to you. Maybe you should use this in the future instead of your big
Ha.
mic setup. Just use your
Good.
phone.
Good old Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, sure, it's been fun.
Yes. Thank
It's
you
been
so
fun.
much. And
Yeah.
Robin,
Yep.
happy birthday, my brother.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
are
Oh, by the
welcome.
way, I've shared it. Sorry, you're talking about the whore, which was Fraser. I was listening to the CAG cast this week, the latest episode that just came out the other day. And of course, Fraser Moores is on the CAG cast. His tweet question is read out. Fraser
Right.
Moo. He is such a little whore.
He is a whore. And
Yeah,
also,
nice little whore, but
and this is going to be my unshout out. So Fraser abandoned the
Yeah, that's
podcast
right.
today because
shark feed.
he wanted to go to a shark overnight aquarium stay. I mean, sure, it's cool, but Fraser, I mean, you're going to be in this aquarium with a bunch of kids. I hope you get no sleep. I hope that you get bitten by a shark, just a little bite, not a big bite. And yeah, and I hope it snows. I know at least I'm going to get one of those wishes. Likely
too soon. Too soon.
Yeah. All right. Again, shout out to the community. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the podcast. And I now will actually play some music as Robin drives through the drive-thru, and you better be ordering a Big Mac.
Answer B.
Yeah, that's a a quarter pounder meal, please. Not medium. Could I have a barbecue dip and a strawberry shake. Thank you. Hi, can I do Apple Pay and Skype at the same time? I'm already here. Goodbye. I'd gone to the scene out. I'm driving home.